Okay, so here we're going to talk about quiz number 9. Stereo width, stereo enhancements, those sorts of things. This is something I think is really important for you guys to learn. It's one of those things that once I kind of wrapped my head around and started using in my mixes, really really made me feel like, okay, that's a step closer to listening to things on the radio, things that are professionally mixed, and my mix is starting to sound a little closer to that. That was one of those elements that, yeah, was there, but I didn't know what it was. And anyway, so, sending things out to the sides, making it thicker, making it wider. Okay. And so, yeah, so the stereo width, the first thing to say is it is at least as important as panning, right? So we use a pan knob, we send things left, right, center, and yeah, we've gone over those sorts of rules of the rules of thumb of the things that I like in the middle, the things that I like spread out over the stereo width, why it's probably not a great idea to put one thing all the way to the left, another thing all the way to the right. But so at least as important as where you're putting it in the stereo field is how wide that field is, right? And with these things, right, getting that, here we can kind of do this, right, is that, yeah, with panning you can just only get as far as the speakers are. But once we start playing with the phase and the stereo width widener stuff, now we get farther out than you think you could go from those speakers. Your brain starts to think it's wider than that. Another thing we can do is use a fake double, right? By, again, copying that, flipping the phase, doing something like that, or just taking another copy and putting it on top of the first one. That is really going to fill out a production. We do that a lot of times, especially with either singers who aren't that great, or if I don't have access to the singer anymore, right? If I just got a song and they sing the chorus the same way 1, 2, 3 times, right? I can cut those up, put them on top of each other, and make it a double. And that's going to help fill out the production. So MS stereo encoding, right? We've talked about this a lot. This is coming up more and more. This is something that, yeah, we can either use the microphones to do when we're recording, or afterwards we can split up the frequencies and try to make it wider and have center frequencies and those things. The problem with that I keep saying over and over again is it sounds awesome in stereo, but you gotta check it in mono. Push the button that puts it into mono, make sure it all collapses down, because anything that's flipped, whatever these motions that I make, when they come back together, they go away. They just disappear. They cancel each other out. So you gotta check that and make sure that it's okay. All right. Unwanted artifacts. So sometimes when you're doing this stuff, you do get these unwanted artifacts. Clicks, pops, little distortion. Yeah. The best way to find these things is don't look through it and try and see where the waveform gets messed up. Just listen through the song. Listen to the mix. You'll be able to tell if that artifact is there and we don't want it, then you got to fix it. If you don't hear it, right, and maybe you have it soloed and you can't hear it, but in the actual mix it's buried, that's fine. Excuse me. Yeah, that happens. I guess this is a little off topic, but a lot of times with me and auto-tune. If I just slap auto-tune onto somebody's voice and let them sing the song and it's great, except there's one note in the bridge and they, right, it makes that noise. So I just take the original track, and if that note is close enough, I put that back instead of the auto-tuned note, and it's good. If I have to re-auto-tune it, right, then I just make the settings on auto-tune a little slower, a little more gentle, or even add another note, right? Sometimes they're singing a note that was out of key from the verse, but's in key in the bridge. Oh, and speaking of pitch, so the other thing you can do with this is do kind of a pitch shift thing where, again, you take two copies of the same thing, but instead of flipping the phase on either side, what we're going to do is you can take a pitch shifter and pitch one 5 cents up and the other 5 cents down, right? And so that gives a kind of a chorusy sound because they're not actually delayed. They're still going to be on top of each other, but 5 cents is 5% of a tone, right? So 5%, if you're singing a C, right, it's going to be 5% up toward C sharp, and then 5% down toward B natural. But it's still going to be close. Okay, good. That was quiz number 9.